People were moving from the suburbs or being able to drive to the suburbs.
Okay, let me check pages 16 to 20.
I was gonna recommend a song in the park.
And the code on.
Like, it would have been better if it was like. I mean, let's. It's available. I don't hear the name.
So.
That's a good point. I don't know.
That is not fixed. I'll get one.
People know that, you know, I think for classes, the teacher will like the same thing. That's the day. And they give us like. I was just like, who choices for Connell? It's me, it's the other thing. And he didn't know which pick, so or TBQs, and I didn't do my pieces right, so then I didn't. And he don't know, but he was like, it's so available, I wanted to give it, he was like, is it weird, bro? It's like, he's in my class.
Take another call, I guess. No.
Or like,
No. Take another call, I guess.
it's like.
No. There's only one left.
Got zero.
And it's like.
But I don't think that's possible. Yeah. Like, but I looked at the 5 minutes left on like 15, but because last night my family but my lesson would be so I think it's so like I just couldn't think I don't think of this FRQ. I feel like if I actually tried bouncing, I could have done it.
I was like, this is like such one extent. Oh, I.
Already. Yeah. Yeah, I love physics.
Like if you want.
No. Most schools don't. I mean, I think you know what the physics elective, I didn't forget a 4 or 5.
They're all like forced.
They should.
I know.
And that's 5 minutes in one, so.
It is my.
It has more distribution.
Oh,
I think physics, like I'm saying, it's a lot of people do bad. Is like only like I think the top 6. Like a top 6 most.
Okay, any questions, pages 16 through 20?
Age 18.
Things like 40, 55. These ones are not really.
A date?
That's 70. Like I'll just say oh, 8,000. But they don't say a date, so it won't be like a day or a day before. I was thinking out one out of these things. I mean, for now, Western Bench, but. Okay, right, they don't have that, D3 sports, like all of these three have D3 football. Yeah, but they say, they have friends, like some, I like people. So and it's a big sport, well, it's not a big sport, but. Yeah, it's big.
You look very hot, because like that. But what was it about it, right? Five things like you have. What is wrong with it? I don't know, but it's really, it's just so like. It's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, let me get back to you. Okay. Okay, if we can pick up on page 21. Get some more practice with Taylor series.
That's gonna be like a real FRQ as well.
Yeah, it'll be a College Board FRQ, yeah.
So we just find 20 FRQ setup.
Tomorrow, 2. Yeah, there'll be 1 Taylor series FRQ and 1 parametric
Anyone?
FRQ.
I think that for part 2, but this FRQ, part 2 is gonna be live.
It's kind of easy. If you take the.
If there's a free, but yeah.
Some parties are, some of them are easy, but it's only.
On the key, it said it goes to
Some
one.
of them are just find the limits, but then like.
How about just accept the word quick?
Sorry, you have
Okay.
in the org.
If you study all like. I think
I'm still feeling really good about this, and like this, like you thing, it's to get wrong. Example, it's like part 2 of 1 FRQ, and you don't need to do that good to get it wrong.
This one here, part
the
A.
FRQs are pretty.
Oh, X is approaching 0.
X is approaching 0, yeah, so once that cancels out.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Then I can set that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, no.
I'm saying like everything else, like I'm talking about. I was forgot watch your distance.
Ask if you.
It's a convergent, interval curves thing,
and just some
let the radius be 2.
Like, the, like,
Did you come to?
areas are zero, like.
Well, the center is 2, but the radius is 3, so it's always gonna be in the
But
form
I
of
think
X
there's gonna
minus
be a
C
lot of like
less
taking
than
them
R.
into.
So,
Like other next choices.
I like finding tangent lines and stuff.
Wait, so like you took. Oh, no, wait, you're right. That's, okay, wait, sorry, I was getting confused.
Okay, guys, let's pick up on page 21.
Yeah, that would be the.
Okay, so after you guys, hopefully we can get through a good chunk of this, and then I'll go over each of the problems once you guys had a chance to try it. So let's start with 21. Okay, page 18. I think the issue with part D is that we have a polynomial, a Taylor or a Taylor polynomial for f of t, centered at 0. Um, FRQ. Yeah, centered at 0. And then we have, we're also told that f of 1 is equal to 3, but we don't have a function that is built for any other centers. So any center that is between 0 and 1, like 0.1 or 0.2 and 0.3, it's not flexible enough for us to have a function that's defined for all the x values. And so that's kind of a strange problem, right? That's because that's centered at 0, and we know f of 1 equals 3, but we don't know the exact values between 0 and 1 because our function is not defined well enough to do that.
So if you're trying to find h of 1,
We would need to have a function that could actually accumulate between 0 and 1, but f of t is only defined at 0 and 1. I mean, we can find a approximation, but we can't find an exact value.
so the approximation would be just the integral of that. And then,
Yeah, the approximation will be integral of this, but it's not, but we can't find the exact value of h of 1.
okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a strange one.
Like what would be an instance where you could find the exact, like, for that type of problem?
Usually, though, the problem is where we have where we have the integral from 0 to x, and we're able to get a Taylor polynomial of a certain degree, and then we can use that to do an approximation. Usually, like it's the problem is given to us as an approximation where you approximate, h of 0.2 or 0.3.
Usually for these sub questions, you can never find the exact.
Right, we can't find the exact. Yeah. That's the best answer I can give to you right now. I'll try to see if I can give you a better one, but that's all I have right now.
I understand how it can be determined, but like the explanation, I don't really understand.
Yeah, I think it's because of the fact that, I mean, we can find f of 0 because it's centered at 0, but the function is, and we know f of 1, but we don't have a Taylor polynomial that is centered at any other point between 0 and 1. So we're not able to find the exact value. Yeah, that's all I have right now.
Oh.
and why that diverges. Just because it doesn't converge to one, so that'd be nth term test
What page is
21.
this?
Is there a test I can use instead of running out the series?
Oh. Oh, yeah, so I was just talking to into the general form,
Mhm.
and the general form gave me n over n plus one, which
Yep.
the limit doesn't equal to 0. Yeah, so nth term test would fail. Yeah, so I didn't have to write this out, use the nth term test.
Okay.
And x equals -1.
Wait, nth term is if it doesn't equal to 0, diverges. Or
That's right. If it doesn't equal to 0, it
Oh,
diverges.
okay. If it doesn't equal to 1, it's like
Yeah, 0. Yeah, 0 is good.
Question number 23. So in part C, you're doing the Lagrange variable.
Yeah.
Where you have to find the max of F4 of C. F4 of 0 is 625 root 2 over 2, but then you say the upper bound is 625. So how do you get from like here to here?
Well, I know that root 2 over 2 is going to be less than 1. So 625 times anything less than 1 is going to be less than 625. So I know that 625 is going to be an easy number for me to say that's greater than this.
All right. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you. So on page 23, yeah. Integrate this one, and that makes sense. Because this plus B. And then it's 2 of 2 equals 3. You find C, which is 1. But then that like X that was there before, just want to place it in replace it with X, but it's everywhere. I don't know. So, What is? I just didn't really feel it. It's really finished on the so I think what's happening here is that I just went ahead and start putting this on. Like, what did that affect? It just made me do more work for it.
Down C is two. Wait, on C.
It is like one exposure, but also number two. I didn't say that.
Which is this.
Yeah, but she didn't say.
So 1 + 2, mine, 1 + 2 is 3, 3 - 2 is 1. Same thing as that.
same
It's just rearranging it so that we're setting the next minus 2, it's just apply it all, but this is fine. You can leave this one.
All right.
This form makes it easier to build the general form. Maybe that's why that is presented that way.
Oh, you might have said, right, yeah. That's a different, that's a sort of. It's just not something. Yeah. Okay. Because I've simplified this. The beauty thinking is the bloom and can stop and they don't do this x equals to 0. Basically, this one is just really that's just 0. And when we code of it, it could never be plugged into this function, which is what we get to test them. If it's only because we're replugging to this function, we can get to test them. It can be plugged into this function. Is that is the coefficient for all of like the any entire table series, because everything else would just be 0. So we were plugging it into the wrong function. That's not right. That. It's just good. It's just a way to do that. And just to work two things from those. Like,
Famous. I think the issue,
would be the actual.
I just found another explanation of that problem. I think the issue is that f of p is only defined up to the third degree. So if f of x is defined up to that point, let's say the next term is minus 1/6x to the fourth versus the next term being negative 1/6x to the fifth, then if I do h of 1, I'm going to get different answers. I don't have enough detail
They would never.
I only have an approximation of that. I don't have anything past the third degree.
So then it just turns into a which just leaves it to be.
It's the other problem with the ultimate approximation.
Yeah, approximation.
Especially like, if it's a, in this case, we only ask to build, we only know, f of x. We only have a third degree approximation of that. We don't have the actual function that goes on.
So I can just say that in my explanation, it's only third degree, so it's an approximation. Or do I have to say like 0?
Well, no, I think I did. I just did it back to those very close.
It's an explanation that's very.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Explanation doesn't quite fit.
No point in it. Just if you work, make sure you did it right. Let's see what terms.
Yeah, you're right. It's still not quite lining up because if it were a approximation, it should have just said that instead of saying that it's not defined between 0 and 1. Okay, let me keep looking.
Is that the only?
Yeah, that's the only answer that they provided in College Board. That is not defined between 0 and 1.
Interesting to see if I know that after I raise or the. That's what I did. Go back to. It doesn't. That's back to the. Wow, I'm 20. I found the transition term that I just found it.
That's what you did. Oh, this which.
That's what he did, that's what I did. He doesn't say this.
So he was.
Yeah, he got it.
What if these converge? Does that become a over?
This one here, -3 to the 2n.
Every other.
Yeah, over 3 to the 2.
But see, if I have -3 raised to the 2n, it's always going to come out to be a positive number. Because 2 times anything is always going to be a positive. So -3 to 2n is always going to produce a positive. It's not an alternator because that exponent is always even.
Yeah.
It feels like -3 to the 2n plus 1.
Oh, because it's.
Yeah.
To the 2n, yeah. If it's 2n plus 1, then it'll be an alternator.
No, I get that. I was saying, like, when you know. If this argument equals 0, x is 0.
You're going to see Oh, yeah, I know. We should end up this straight. Yeah. Yes, I feel like they're not. Where did that? Yeah. Okay. I was not. Why is that? Yeah.
No, I'm trying to.
Yeah, so we only have, we don't have the entire polynomial. So the best that we can do between 0 and 1 is we can produce an approximation, but we can't find the exact value. So that's a more fuller explanation.
So between 0 and 1.
We could do an approximation, but we can't find the exact value because we don't have the entire polynomial. We only have a third degree polynomial rather than the entire polynomial.
What does the t in the middle have to do with? What does the t between 0 and 1 have to do with it?
Well, it's just to indicate that we can find h of 0, we can find h of 1, but we can't find anything between 0 and 1.
But the h of 1 cannot be determined, so.
Oh, right, sorry. Oh, we can find f of 0 and f of 1, but we can't find anything between 0 and 1 for f. So if we can't find anything between 0 and 1 for f, then we can't accumulate that function over the course of interval from 0 to 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess also. Yeah.
It's like I'm congested. Like sometimes.
But what, it's better to distance travel by parts, it's just in the middle of these. Yeah. Yes.
There's this, yeah, it was maybe the word is in like the personal. But because so this is control.
Like the total is.
Like, so it's gonna be like. Gets the rest of the grade. I'd have to say, just, there's like 30, what's the financial reason for each of the. Yeah, but. Is it not to look the sense of the. That's just.
37 grams of sugar a year.
That's
Is there any caffeine in it?
Probably not, or the caffeine's in the sugar.
Sugar,
You're gonna bounce off walls and really ash. Oh,
you didn't.
what's that? Well, actually, it's not.
Yes, but that's not.
Okay, so
Okay, and they're all from sugar.
I agree here, actually. That's.
Why do we carry sugar now? So that
negative 1
some average. It's not born.
Might be two.
I agree because.
I'm not. How do you do that? So bad.
I just did it.
Yeah.
Ew, it's not even good sugar. Like, you guys are super sugar.
So this was.
Maybe you should say on what. No, it's like not like. It's only cereal.
Really aren't that.
It's almost just like don't think you're smart.
Scarlet,
Nah,
How does this?
I'm putting my.
so
I'm
this
putting.
year, I think it's not real.
That's what it is. But. No, this. Separate flowers, it's pretty much just fish. Middays crazy.
Why do you? I don't care. I'm busy.
No, that's bad. No, it's like.
It's just not. It's like, we got a decision that we're gonna turn into.
You know,
Yeah.
You know,
you know what I'm saying?
you
Like.
know what I'm saying?
So is it just something like?
But we're all gonna die. Okay, we're here.
Just that's the thing. They are 20 plus countries, 20% more benefit.
Really?
Yeah, there has to be like female, normal, girls, and to be gender. Also, people who don't identify type. So I was really just kind of good on my side. So they take most of the EG applicants. You're gonna continue. You're gonna EG. So I'm pretty sure you can just get out of it and say like, I can give me.
They all suck.
They got a PA. Got a PA. So
Yeah, I did it too.
Is it easy to limit the?
no, CD you set up on there.
Oh,
It's still actually blind focus. So like, if it's ED, then you can ED at any private schools, but you can still PA to.
yeah, I got the extra. The max is only like.
If you're going to. Yeah.
So.
The chewing time for.
What are you saying?
So it should have looked like Steam.
That's an explanation.
It's like OCD.
Why?
Well,
On aim.
you miss him.
So now.
Forget science about.
This is
It's technically a dementia medication.
It's a
Yeah, it's for dementia. No, it's actually for dementia, but they did studies and apparently it's super good to eat. And
Did you know that that's actual, Viagra, that's probably Viagra. Because it was actually gonna be used for. Yeah, but then they, it's like, he's an old man, and he like that, so then they go to bad.
I love it. There's the one like for the sadness. That ability. I take like 7.5 minutes to so strong.
Yeah, I told someone that I was on Instagram, they're like, that's well. And I'm like,
I think about it and I'm like, now like I do have to take drugs to be level, but like at least I am kind of.
I take drugs and I know.
Yeah.
Again.
But without drugs, I
Distance.
hashtag get medicated in 2020.
Yeah, maybe.
Not like that, but Don't say. Oh, I registered to vote yesterday.
Oh, hell yeah, you did.
I mean, it's not approved yet, but I did.
Yeah, can't say no.
That's not really. I'm not 18, 17 and a half.
And you'll be a great stuff.
Well, I am, so, you're on side. I got that a lot ago. I'm not
Then
kidding.
you're like, that one's gonna accuse me of it. Oh.
In middle school, and I didn't know what that was. I was like, why? I don't know what's going on. Middle school doesn't care. You go back. Like, I was genuinely not about that. Like, genuinely, I'd rather be in a-
Once you look at the.
I know, I'm so stupid. I don't know.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't.
Oh, I'm like, I had a bad time. People are really messing with me.
So
And now you're.
this means that we're gonna keep multiplying by the terms below it, right? So it's basically.
Yeah, I would give a lot of work there. Good man, but I think I was more emotionally intelligent.
This.
But they didn't understand. I was stupid.
Five.
Very responsive. I don't care.
I mean, those are sad.
I know. I can do it. So many times, like, between the elections. And then when they just showed me a picture of a 35 slide and they were like, watch. Raised you like this, get a freaking storm. And I'm crying in the bathroom a lot during the class.
Yes, but still.
What else happened? I blocked
Yeah,
that.
that's a big one.
Bro, I blocked that out. Bad influence. I think my sixth grade got cut, right? I never noticed about it, Mr. Winter, I'm supposed to.
I gotta say, I gotta.
Top tiers, local.
Oh, my substitute study teacher was amazing. She never showed up to class. Well, we did two things. It was watching.
So I guess I'm still with that. Sorry. Mark was like good math there, he's a hundred.
I was switching.
So do you just write it up?
Oh, like, that was good. Like, one
That, you know, that was in your I thought you couldn't go, like,
other big.
I played surf on it. Maybe the lesson.
Not.
It's not like my conversation. It's still like. It's like. Well, this guy.
You get that?
I would take a whole. It was so, it's like.
Oh, we taught it like five.
I missed algebra, man. I was so. I was like 2% in algebra. Like, I missed Miss Mulligan's class, but we'll finish like the whole evening. I was like, good.
So. That's why I look at that. I mean, as soon as we like, TV spot.
No, I just read, like, I don't just know about algebra.
And then.
Like, it is not high. Yeah, it's 5 factorial. It was just Bartlett, 2 and the side includes 7%.
I had.
That's so good. She was pregnant all the time.
I so like she's like.
No, I'm being so real now. It's like.
I learned this first.
The biggest comment.
No, so then we had a friends meeting and there was one of them just, oh, in there. Yeah, and then we got them. Like.
I did a presentation like 7th grade. And by my grandfather, I got better questions. Sorry. It was still.
Hi, it's me, Mr. Bowman. Scarlett.
You had it, I think.
I can Or like just people are just.
Right, that's about to.
I, you know, really volunteer. Something like this, it's something that we see. Stop.
I lost my
-3, all the way. I still have mine. It's not good. It's no. I'm like, because it's good about all the way back. Like n-1, n-2, n-2.
Oh, so many.
Yeah. Like. Yeah, and then all the way, eventually.
Like, why do you reckon so
Legendary. Because then you got to fit.
Yeah.
Every factor.
Like, it's a massive stuff.
And so 100%, 98%, like this is the beat. So you got this. Are you sure?
You know, one.
You're just writing out how to go 5 factors, like 20 factors, so you're 20 times 19 times 20, and all the way down to.
Oh, yeah. It's good to one, yeah. Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's just we have.
Yeah.
So n minus 5, I like when the you say the right. Well, it and let's
Because that's like a really it's like a this value.
Yeah.
It's like one's good enough. You just need to find something zero.
Right, right.
Because then
Right. I think the whole point of this is just to make sure that at least you agree. I don't think you have to test both of them, but they should both agree. And
Yeah.
maybe just only have one.
And now I get this is gonna get a bit tricky. So
For comparison test, for larger series divergence than the smaller series divergence, or
For comparison test, if the smaller series diverges, then the larger series will also diverge. But if my anchor is a converging series, then if I know a converging series is gonna, if I know a series is gonna converge, anything less than it will also converge.
Divide this by less than that.
It's national English literature.
Okay, so tomorrow is your FRQ test. Pages 21 through 25. I want to finish out the rest of the packet, but I'm not going to check that until Friday, but hopefully you guys can get through it tonight just for additional practice. Help session this afternoon, 3:30 this afternoon and 7:30 tomorrow morning. I found some additional problems that can be a good practice for you. So if you guys want to pick that up, it'll be front and back. It'll basically the length of this of your FRQ tomorrow will be one Parker motion and then one Taylor series. I have the key attached. You guys can maybe run through that tonight as a practice. See how well you do. But I can also do answer any questions over help session.
It's 5 days, we out about it.
so, yeah. At the beginning, that works better.
Thanks. I wish I could. Saturday.